Greetings, brethren, it's your boy, the Donkey, and we're back with Donkey versus Beer. Now, today, I shall be probably offending some people, because I will say that I hate craft beer. Now, I should specify, I don't really hate, it's not that I just hate craft beer and I will never try it. I will try it, it's just, with the craft beer movement has come a certain amount of pretentiousness that I find incredibly obnoxious. And I think there are sort of three main categories of craft beer presentation. The first kind is to just make an actually decent beer and then, kind of present it somewhat traditional in a way. And I would say that this is what I would classify as that. This is the Lemke brewery in Berlin. I generally find that craft beer is really redundant in Germany because that's kind of how most of our brewing works. We have some really commercial giant corporations that run several breweries, but there's also thousands of private breweries that have hundreds of years of tradition, family owned forever, or at least, locally owned forever. So that's what a craft beer is basically, right? And we've had that forever. We don't need a craft beer movement. But whatever the Americans do is what we do as well, because, wow, the Americans are so cool. So we also have a freaking craft beer movement now. But I will say, if you are gonna do a craft beer, I think that's pretty good. Because, I don't find this offensive. It's just a beer, it's fine, right? And in this case, it's a Weizenbock IPA. I don't know what that means, because that's at least two different kinds of beer, if not three. So I don't know what to expect from this, but you'll definitely see it on the channel at some point. It's not the beer that we're talking about. Then there's the second category, and that's the category I hate the most. It's the really pretentious, postmodern nonsense beers that have stupid, usually they come in cans, and they have really dumb art on the cans. And they often also have really stupid names like Vanguard Dispensary Justice or some crap like that. And you don't know what the beer is. It doesn't say on the can because all the can has is a bunch of stupid art that looks like it was drawn by a 3-year-old. And that's all there is to it. And you're supposed to be like, wow, look, this is amazing. Ah, and then you drink it and it tastes like shit because those companies usually don't know what they're doing, or oftentimes they don't know what they're doing. And yeah, you're just left really disappointed because you have a crappy beer and it also looks like trash. Really, really despise that kind. But now I have discovered a third kind of craft beer. Previously I thought there was only, the kind that actually still just makes a beer and it's okay and, they have inoffensive branding, and then the obnoxious kind. But I have found a third kind, and that's this. And it's called Hallertauer Hopfen-Cuvée. And this beer screams so loudly, please, please treat me like a wine. I want to be a wine so bad, but I'm not. I'm simply a mere peasant's brew. Because this is really just, as far as I can tell, it's just a Pilsner. That's just what it is. It's a Pilsner, but they called it a Hopfen-Cuvée. And I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. It doesn't mean anything to me. Maybe there is actually something to this, and I will definitely not apologize if there is. But to me, this just sounds like pure pretentiousness. And the way it is presented to me, it really just makes me think you want to be a wine really bad, and you're not. I don't know, I think that's kind of sad. But anyway, we'll try it and then we'll judge it. It's a Pilsner, so there's a good chance I might like it. Okay. Smell-wise, I'm not too impressed. Kind of on the sort of lower end of what you get from a Pilsner. Whoop, 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 whoop. Let's see if we can pour ourselves a pretty decent head. Looks like we can. Oh, this is threatening to burst me glass. Put that down so it's not in the way. Probably could have poured a better head. Not sure that that's the fault of this beer. But let's have a go. You know, it's all right. It's yeah, it's a Pilsner. See, this is the problem that I have with this kind of thing. And honestly, I'm not sure if Hallertauer is a craft brewery. I don't know how long how long this has how long this has gone. I don't see anything about I don't see anything about a brewery on here and how long they've gone. I would have to Google it. It just says Middle Bavarian Drinks Company in Ingolstadt. That's it. So no idea how long of a tradition they have. And yeah, that's exactly my problem with this kind of thing. The resulting beer, it's not bad. It's fine. It's I would call it pretty. It's a pretty average Pilsner. Yeah, it's okay. It's what I know that a lot of Germans will like in a Pilsner. It's not like the Bohemian Pilsners. If you've never had those, you know, things like Staropramen, Busek, I think it's called. I'm not entirely sure. It has a funny fat man on the cover with rosy cheeks, much like myself. Then there's Budvar and, you know, all of those sort of Czech beers. They're always really, really savory, and they have a pretty extensive bitterness that lingers quite a long time. This doesn't. It's a bit softer, and I know that that's what, you know, in Germany is a little bit more popular when it comes to Pilsners. Most really popular Pilsners are a bit more gentle. So I think that most people would enjoy this. I do. I just think that it's not outstanding in any way, and that makes the presentation of the bottle just seem really desperate, you know, and kind of sad. But you know, it's definitely a drinkable Pilsner. It has I guess the most interesting thing about it is that for a Pilsner, it's a little bit more acidic, and there's also a little bit of sweetness that you wouldn't really get with a more traditional Pilsner. So I suppose that's slightly different, but honestly, I can't say that there's anything in this that really makes it stand out to the point that you have to have a pretentious branding like this to make it seem like, oh, this is, you know, the wine equivalent of a beer. I don't know. I just don't see it. And oh, of course, you know, people are free to brand their beer as they wish. It's just, I don't know. If I sell, I bought this in a bundle with a bunch of beers from around Germany. That's why I got it, because it's easier for me to you know, actually get a bunch of beers from around Germany that way. But if I just saw this in the store sitting there like that, I don't think I would go for it. It's just, ugh. I'm just irked by it. It's just not outstanding. It's kind of average. It's I would honestly put this in a very similar category to Beck's from, you know, the sort of how it feels. And yeah, that just I will rate it slightly higher than Beck's, though, I can tell you that, because it is slightly something else, I suppose, but I don't know. There's just not enough for me not enough going on in there for me to really sort of just, you know, give it a monster rating. Also, I just noticed on the camera, do you like where I got stung by a fucking mosquito right in the middle of my forehead? Awesome. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I think I will give this a... I have to give it a 3 out of 10. I'm sorry. It's just... the desperation definitely costs it a point in my book. Because this... You know, it's okay. If I was served this, I wouldn't be unhappy. It's a serviceable Pilsner. It's just... It seems so desperate and so pretentious that I just can't bring myself to say I would have this again. I don't think I would. I don't think I would. If I saw this in the store, I think the only thing it would get out of me is a chortle. Like, look at that one. It's that one that tries to be a wine. Sad. If you just called it Hallertauer Premium Pilsner, I would have been more invested, honestly. It's just, yeah, and I think it might have been a 4 then, but it really does detract from it. And that's something that I would like to say about craft beers. I think the pretentious marketing, while in some cases I'm sure helps it. I'm sure there are people that love that shit. For me, that does hurt it a bit. I just don't appreciate it as much as I would if it was just presented as what it is. That's why I don't hate this company. I mean, they are from Berlin, so they're probably jerks, but it's just presented as a beer. I haven't tried it yet. I am skeptical because of, you know, what it is supposed to be, a Weizenbock IPA. This sounds kind of weird because, you know, Weizenbock is a type of beer and Indian Pale Ale is a type of beer, and is this just a mixed drink of 2 beers, or what are you trying to say with this? Whatever, we'll see when we get to it. But yeah, I don't know with this one. I'm sad, is what I'm gonna say, and it's gonna get a 3 out of 10. Anyway, it's still very much a drinkable Pilsner, so I wouldn't be upset if I was served it. I'd look at the bottle and cringe. That's really all there is to it. All right, I hope you had a lovely evening, and you will still have more of a lovely evening. And please join me again on another day for another beer. And don't be too upset that I crapped all over the craft beers. I will still have craft beers, and I will rate them fairly. I promise. Take care, guys.